Alright, this is my fourth attempt of doing a replay review of a Position 10 replay of a game that we played last night. I was going to post it on G-Heart's Discord as well for those who are interested in replay reviews. G-Heart, you might consider creating an actual Discord name. So what happens here is that we do win a fight. We decide to take Roche together. So we're in a 5-stack versus a 4-stack plus the one independent. What is that? I can't even think of him. Underlord, yeah. So, we take Roche like we're supposed to. And so, one of the things that I want to highlight is, first, I need to be very careful about this replay review thing because it's crashed on me like 3 times. So I'm only going to use fast forward instead of advance. Secondly, you know how people, when you lose games, you're like, oh man, you know, my teammates suck, all that kind of stuff. And then someone says, well, you have to minimize the mistakes that you make and capitalize on the mistakes that they make. This replay will highlight both sides doing those sorts of things, and so we need to minimize our mistakes and capitalize on theirs without giving them opportunities. So with that said, we're going to go forward and indicate how we've taken Roche. Now we've taken Roche. Drow is moving up toward the map, not reading the patch notes that recently came out. So Roche is now here in the daytime instead of here. So yes, of course, as a carry, I would also start drifting away from wherever Roche is in order to maximize my farm. This Drow starts drifting north, assuming that Roche is bottom during the daytime, and she ends up dying. I'm actually camping here because I have my eye set on the Wind Ranger, but of course we're going on the Drow, so I turn around and start trying to cast on her. Of course, she has 0 defensive items. Well, not 0, she has Hurricane Pike, but she doesn't have a BKB 33 minutes in the game. And she's out there by herself. I cast on Earthshaker, who's going to have an impotent Echo Slam because he can't blink. And we just wiped him. Straight up. So we're going to do everything that we're supposed to do here, which means taking their objectives. So once they glyph, we have 10 seconds before the buildings are vulnerable again. So that means Drow will be up in 6, Earthshaker will be up. So we need to take these buildings back out and then control the map to starve them of resources so that we can expand our gold net worth league. So I'm already TPing out because I'm under the assumption that everyone's going to finish, and I'm already shoving up bottom so that we can, I'm anticipating my team will go through this way, farm under the vision, and then go here so we can take out the outpost, take the power rooms, shove these waves, and just starve them in their base as they have to push this in. Ideally, we occupy this space and force them to come try to take it back or farm where the less profitable outskirts. What happens is we take the building and we have 2 of us jumping forward into them as they're respawning. So we're gonna let that play out. Of course, the sniper stays outside because he's like, what's going on here? He's not, because there's no way to win the game here. This is not a game-winning thing situation. We take 1 Rax, we back out, maybe wait for Roche to come up or capitalize on the mistake they make, but instead we throw. So we go from 15k lead to 11k lead so far. So I try to shove this lane and steal their wisdom room and get out, so sniper is farm the middle. Okay, so we're going to fast forward a bit. So they smoke. Alright, so what happens here, I'm in the middle farming. I make a mistake because I swapped positions with a Zeus thinking I'm going to farm in these areas. I should have stayed in front of the Zeus in the event that they come from anywhere over here so that Zeus breaks the smoke instead of me. So I end up breaking the smoke and I die. I am definitely the target they're looking for. The team does a good job of ulting to alert everybody, hey, Dish is going down. She ends up dying. So now we're down to 8k lead. So now they are being very aggressive. They have short cooldowns on all their stuff. So they are in an advantageous position because we're down 2 heroes. We should be behind this tower. But for some reason, we're playing forward. Should not be playing forward and using Ravage. We should be playing defensively behind the tower with 2 heroes dead. I also say post-game that maybe I could have bought back here, but I don't. Maybe that's a mistake. I don't know. It's hard to determine. The mistake that I identify is the fact that we initially jumped, and then I get caught here when they're not showing on the map. So our sniper, who has Aegis, ends up dying twice in a row here. So now we're down to 5K. Down from 15K, so now it's a 10K gold swing. They do end up taking 1 Rax, and they back out because I'm alive, right? They're afraid of me. And so now we're down to 2K. So we're going to fast forward some more. I'll say that from the point that we make this mistake here, 15K gold swing. Gonna keep going. What do? We do end up catching. Oh, we catch the Drow, but that doesn't matter. Eventually, they actually get the gold lead. So we went from winning the game at 35 minutes, I'll say, 15K gold lead, to throwing it all away from that one mistake, allowing them to farm the map, deward, gain back control of their side of the map, along with getting 1 Rax. It's the range Rax. It wasn't as bad as it could have been, but it's just an example of how you can turn a winning game into a losing game by making those mistakes. I'm going to keep going. There is a point, so I do say that it takes us 10 minutes to get this corrected, but I'm trying to not use some of the controls because it'll crash. So Ting says she dies over here because she's trying to steal their wisdom rune, which at 40 minutes in a game isn't a good play. At 40 minutes in a game, you want to have like buybacks. You're trying to minimize deaths because every death creates a situation where the other team can capitalize on. Like they're smoked now because we're down a hero. I'm actually curious how this plays out. I don't remember. So they make the mistake of trying to go on the Tidehunter, who is very tanky. So they throw a lot of resources at him. Trying to show you everything that happens here. So there is an issue here where we're trying to get the Drow. The Zeus isn't able to throw the Nimbus on her because the Zeus is dealing with kids. I mean, that happens. You know, real life stuff. Yeah, just drop the Nimbus on her. I actually end up dying here. She hits me with silence again, and I end up dying. So, poorly executed. Let's see. Yeah, 45 minutes is about the time where we actually managed to end the game. So I'm gonna let this play out a little bit. Alright. So, we're just walking to them. Is Ravage up? Yes, because Ravage is up, that's why. So, remember, we had a 15K gold lead, and so now the game is basically even. Tidehunter jumps up by himself. There's no one home. It is useful to have a very tanky frontliner. So now we're up on their elevation. If this Earthshaker were good, I think this plays out differently, but he's not, so we lucked out. So now we occupy this space. This is actually their ward. They come up. Our sniper smart. Those item purchases. BKB is good, everyone. So that was poor by them. So when they were down a hero, right? They were down a hero because the tree died in the first engagement. They should have backed to their base and played defensively, but instead they came up and tried to take an engagement while they're down a hero, and that goes back to what I was talking about when the Zeus died over here, and they smoked, tried to take a fight while we were down a hero. So those are the things you got to pay attention to. So we do end up winning this game because for some reason they don't have buybacks this late into the game, and so we end up megas, and we do the normal things that we're supposed to do, take Roche, and just end the game. Actually baiting them with a sniper who has Roche this time to end the game. It is different circumstances because now you have mega creeps pushing those sorts of things. So I just want to go over some of that for future reference in other games that we play. Make sure that we don't make so many mistakes. All right, GG's.